Hello everyone, Markman05 here, and today I'm going to be doing all 20 Pixar films ranked, and I'm doing this because Incredibles 2 has been out for a couple of weeks, and now I can go in depth and rank all the movies. And remember, there may be spoilers in this ranking and video. Before you listen to the ranking, why don't you tell me your ranking in the comments? And if you want to, you can explain why. But anyways, here's my ranking. Number 20, Brave. Although I don't hate any of the Pixar movies, I do have least favorites, of course. This one is one of those least favorites. This movie wasn't targeted to 7-year-old me whenever I went to theaters to watch it, and it still doesn't hit me where it probably should have. Probably because I'm not a mother or daughter, but I believe this movie should have been a Disney movie or DreamWorks movie, not a Pixar movie. That's what it feels like. My ranking on this movie is a 4.5 out of 10. Number 19, Cars 2. I don't know why this movie had to be made besides more money for Pixar. Who thought it was a good idea to make Mater the main character and to make him a spy? I'm sorry, but if you love this movie, please tell me why in the comments. Lightning McQueen was in it, with a little bit of screen time, which I hated. He was a standout from the first Cars. Besides all this hate I'm bringing on the movie, it's better than Brave. But only by a little bit. I personally really liked Finn McMissile, which brought it up a little bit. But besides him, none of the other characters really stood out. I would give this movie a 5 out of 10. Number 18, A Bug's Life. Compared to Toy Story, this movie is a huge disappointment. Yet it's not as much of a disaster as Cars 2 or Brave. I find this movie mildly entertaining. With Ants in this movie coming out around the same time, it was hard to choose from the two. I've always preferred this movie over Ants, but that may just because I'm a Disney fanboy. My personal favorite part of the movie is one of the characters, Heimlich. I'd give this movie a 5.4 out of 10 though. Number 17, The Good Dinosaur. This movie has outstanding animation, definitely one of the best Pixar animated films. But that doesn't make this movie too good. The plot I feel like we've seen before in Ice Age Dawn of the Dinosaurs, and I can't be the only person who thought this. The boy acted like a dog the whole movie was just horrible. Pixar has many standouts, one of them came out the same year as this one, yet they still screwed it up. I'd have to give this movie a 5.9 out of 10, and that's only because of the outstanding animation. Number 16, Up. Now, don't get me wrong, Up is a great movie. Well, in the first 10 minutes. It had a wonderful plot going for it. Had everyone crying in the first 10 minutes, yet they never come back to that emotion. I really like the way the directors were trying to go with the movie though. The dogs with the collars that can let them talk is hilarious. The house floating with the balloons I didn't personally like though. The reason isn't because it's not realistic. It's just that I don't know how the whole movie is based around Carl going with a floating house. How would that hold? Anyways, I'd give this movie a 6.6 out of 10. Number 15, Ratatouille. When first hearing of this movie, it sounds like a horrible premise, but it actually turned out to be really good. From the beginning, it had me attached to the movie. I really liked how they had the main rat be able to cook better than a human. Overall, this movie is good, and if you haven't seen it, you should definitely watch it. Also, why are you watching this ranking if you haven't seen it? I'd give this movie a 6.9 out of 10. Number 14, Cars 3. I don't have that much to say about this movie, besides I love the Rocky aspect. It's giving me that Rocky vibe, which I love Rocky. I'm excited for Creed 2, by the way. Be looking out for a review on that. And I like the plot. It's not as good as most plots, but it's not bad by any means. I believe that Coco was much better animated in so many ways. But you'll see that ranking in a bit. I'd give this movie a 7 out of 10. Number 13, Monsters University. This is one of the most underrated Pixar films. I personally love it. Monsters Inc. was great, and I was a bit skeptical about this movie around a year ago whenever I first heard of it. And I didn't want to watch it. I watched it and fell in love with it. It was but at the time, my favorite Pixar movie. Yet, watching it again, it gets worse, and at least it's still entertaining. Well, almost all the Pixar movies are. I'd give this movie a 7.7 out of 10. Number 12, WALL-E. Can I just say how wonderfully animated this movie is? WALL-E is one of the best animated movies in Pixar. How could they make a movie that has no talking in the first half hour be so good? Eva and WALL-E are awesome, great characters that you can fall in love with in their first 5 minutes of screen time. I'd give this movie a 7.9 out of 10 though. Number 11, Finding Dory. This movie surprised me, and it still does. I actually hated Dory in Finding Nemo and thought the movie all about her would just be horrible. But it wasn't, and that caught me a bit off guard. Let me just say, the animation is just wonderful, and they also made me like Dory, aka my least favorite part of Finding Nemo. Definitely a great watch, and I could put it in just for fun. I give this movie an 8 out of 10. And just in case you guys forgot and are getting mad that like my number 14 is your number 1, I hate none of these movies, especially none of my top 10, which I love all my top 10. Don't get offended if your number 1 is my number 7. This is my opinion. You have your own. Anyways, let's get back to it. Number 10, Cars. With Cars, I honestly hated it as a young one, but now it's just great. I couldn't imagine anyone else voicing Lightning McQueen besides Owen Wilson. And speaking of him, can I just say the whole cast is wonderful? I may really dislike Mater, but him as a side character is great. He's like the Minions from Despicable Me, only good side characters. That's it. A lot of people like Cars 3 more, but I'm not one of those people. Cars honestly deserves a lot more love. I give this movie an 8.3 out of 10. Number 9, The Incredibles. This may be a shocker to a lot of you, but Incredibles is extremely overrated, just like the Avengers in my opinion. I actually really like the characters. They're all thought out, and Bob at the office is just hilarious. A huge guy in a cubicle who is a softie with his clients. He'd be awesome in the office. The villain syndrome is really awesome, and his motives are thought out. Or at least I think so. The one problem I have is the ending with the Underminer. Basically just like what The Incredibles 2 did. But I'd give this movie an 8.5 out of 10. Number 8, Toy Story. This film started off the Pixar and a wonderful franchise. The only character that I don't like is Buzz. He was better off as a quotation mark space fan, in my opinion. Whenever Woody accidentally pushed Buzz out of the window, it is whenever the movie went a bit down, in my opinion. It's something that the character Woody would do, but it just didn't work for me. The scene where Buzz figured out he was a toy surprisingly worked for me though. Even though I hate his character and whenever he knows he's a toy. Anyways, I'd give this movie an 8.6 out of 10. Number 7, The Incredibles 2. Incredibles 2 may be exactly like the first one, but different at the same time. Helen is a great lead, as is Bob. Speaking of Bob, he's hilarious as a father figure. Jack is by far the best character in this movie. Honestly think he could defeat Thanos whenever he grows older and becomes more mature. Only complaint is Violet with Tony. Tony wasn't interesting at all. Same with Violet until she figured out what Bob did. Which I liked her character so much from there because it was highly relatable with my parents. Anyways, I'd give this movie an 8.8 out of 10. Number 6, Monsters Inc. My only complaint with this film are the voice actors, which I didn't bring up with Monsters University. The only voice actor I loved was Billy Crystal as Mike Wazowski. He was great as Mike, and I can't see anyone else playing him. Boo was wonderful, and if you know the Pixar theory, it just makes her better. I love Sully. The character of him is just wonderful to me. The voice of him, John Goodman, wasn't the character Sully, and he just didn't seem like him. Anyways, I'd give this film an 8.9 out of 10. Number 5, Finding Nemo. Unlike Monsters Inc., I love the voice cast in this movie. Even Ellen as Dory, even though I hate the character Dory in this film. She was just annoying to me. Marlin is a wonderful character in my opinion, same as Nemo. It's a bit emotional at the beginning whenever Nemo gets taken away though. I feel like Brave should have taken notes on Finding Nemo to take some ideas. Brave probably would have been a whole lot better, but I'd give this movie a 9 out of 10. Number 4, Toy Story 2. To me, Buzz was a whole lot better in this film and was redeemable. Woody getting taken in the beginning was just wonderful for the film, and Owl being the antagonist along with Stinky Pete was just wonderful. The ending scene whenever Woody saved Jessie from the plane was wonderful also, and the quotation mark bloopers at the end of the film were hilarious. My only true complaint is how Woody got captured. He fell off a buster and getting found by Owl. It just wasn't good to me. The creators could have made it a whole lot better, but that's just my minor complaint. I give this movie a 9.5 out of 10. Number 3, Coco. Coco did something that barely any other films have done, which was bringing family in and making it the main subject and plot of the film. How the family hates music because of something that happened in the past is probably one of the best parts. It foreshadowed the later antagonist, and the thing about the film's antagonist, I can see where he's coming from. And just like Violet from Incredibles 2, Miguel is extremely relatable. He loves music and so do I. Although my family also loves music and doesn't hate it, but that's the only difference. Anyways, I'd give Coco a 9.8 out of 10. Number 2, with my number 2 and number 1, it's hard to decide from them, but my number 2, I just decided to choose Inside Out. You guys are probably going to get really tired of me saying this, but I really relate to almost all these characters. But I truly do relate to Riley. This movie shines with the family side and shows that not every family is perfect and rich. And that shines with that. The moving van getting lost on track is another great thing. It helped the movie a lot in my opinion. Disgust is definitely my favorite emotion though. And Mindy Kaling playing her was a perfect match. Same thing with the whole voice cast, as a matter of fact. Anger is a bit cliche in my opinion though. That's only a minor complaint that could get fixed. I'd give this film a 9.9 out of 10. And now, number 1, Toy Story 3. This film is just perfect. I find nothing wrong with it. The prison escape aspect is wonderful, as is the whole plot. And also, pretty much everyone can relate to at least one of these characters. Then again, I could be a bit biased because this was the first film I had ever seen in theaters. But I love the whole voice cast and Buzz is outstanding here. Spanish Buzz is awesome and funny. Woody is my favorite character, and to me he proved himself to be awesome whenever he went back to daycare just for his friends. He proved himself to be a hero. Rex is awesome, as is all the background characters. And the ending is truly emotional, with Bonnie and the dumpfire scene. I gave Toy Story 3 a 10 out of 10. Alright, this is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you give your ranking in the comments, and make sure you like and subscribe. Be looking out for a Lego Movie and Emoji Movie comparison video, and how the Lego Movie is a whole lot better. And with that video, my brother's going to be helping me because I cannot suffer through the Emoji Movie so many times. But anyways, see you guys whenever that video comes out. Bye.